Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the Beast Wars Transmetal 2 Megatron. This is a viewer requested review, so it's a long overdue one also, actually. It's been a long time since he asked for it, but I finally got around to doing it. So here we go. This was one of my favorite figures as a kid. I really liked the Transmetal 2 version of Megatron in the show. And the figure itself is pretty darn cool. It does have some flaws, but it does have some really cool features as well. He stands roughly to the top of the wings around 24 centimeters, which makes him about 9.5 inches. And you can play with the height depending on how you pose the legs and how you have those joints articulated. But it's got some decent size to it, and as you can see, he's got some pretty nice coloring. There's a fair amount of paintwork throughout the figure, though most of it is molded in this sort of metallic slightly off red color. We do have a lot of vacuum chrome, which looks really nice, and we have some translucent parts as well, so it looks really cool. And then on the tail we have some gold molding with some various shading of paint also. Lots of cool stuff going on here. So this is the robot mode, obviously. I will put him in his alt mode, the dragon mode, at the end of the video here so you can see it. But he is pretty cool. As far as articulation goes, let's start with the wings. They do have a hinge, so you can bring them back a little bit or forward. So that's kind of cool there. You can lift this up a little bit, and you can play with this tab right here to bring the wings out, to open them up, which is a pretty cool gimmick. It's a nice one. It's effective. I tended to, when I was a kid, leave them all the way extended. But you can do it either way. That's up to you, and then you can just fold that down to hide that. You can tuck these arms up a little bit if you want to do it that way, but I like to leave them down to reduce the profile of the backpack. For the arms, this arm obviously is more of the dragon head, which is not the best execution. It's pretty cool in beast mode, but not so cool in robot mode. We do have a swivel up here to bring the arm around if you want to do that. And you do have this kind of hinge here to bring the arm that way if you want to, but it's just none of it really works well in robot mode. And then as far as articulation goes for the dragon head, you just get this thing here, which I'll go over in beast mode, but it doesn't really do much. The head is also articulated at the mouth, but we'll get that in beast mode. For this arm, it's a ball peg for the shoulder, so full range of motion there. We do have another hinged ball peg on this side, so you can rotate it around this way and get kind of a double hinged elbow, so that's pretty cool. And if you want to spin this piece around, you can leave it like that from beast mode, which I preferred, or you can spin it around the way the directions tell you and put it like that, which has, by the way, some really cool shading on there. As far as the head goes, you're not going to get much out of it because it's all connected to that giant apparatus connecting to the tail there, so don't expect to move the head around a whole lot. For the hips, you can see we just have ratcheting hinge right there, and then you can also ratchet out to the side. So basically Marvel Legends style hip articulation, no thigh swivel though. We do get a knee hinge down here, and that'll rotate around. Then you kind of get some foot articulation, but that's mostly for the vehicle mode, which, by the way, the vehicle mode, not the best executed thing in the world. I'm not even going to go over it because who really cares about vehicle mode? You guys are going to want them in robot mode or beast mode for sure. I actually prefer the beast mode. One thing to note is you can fire missiles out of the dragon's mouth in robot mode, and he does come with 2 of these missiles. Maybe he had 3. I only have 2 though, so I can't say for sure. You can also still fire the missiles out from up here, which is not the best situation, but it is an option. The thing that really always bothered me about this guy is right here on the head, and that is the fact that his clear dome piece is not molded exactly properly, and it's not just mine, it's on most of them, so that when you put it down, it doesn't cover the face evenly. It's crooked, and it doesn't even cover properly, so it always irked me, and it still does to this day. It's kind of a cool feature, it just doesn't work that well. That being said, it is a fairly accurate likeness to the show. You can even see the spark thingy in here, and it's just a really cool looking figure. He actually looks even cooler in beast mode, so let me get him transformed, and then we can talk about that. Alright, so we have Megatron transformed into his beast mode, and you can really see when he's in beast mode how nice a figure this actually is. The paintwork on the shading for the neck and the torso, and then this metallic shading down here, just really, really well done. And they even shaded the wings with this nice purple effect on the translucent orange. Very cool looking figure. The vacuum chrome red is also shaded. so that his face and neck have a really nice look to them. Let's focus on the face. And then you can fire the missile through the mouth by lifting up like that, or you can just bring the mouth open like that. So it's very cool. The articulation for the head is basically just limited to the mechanism on the back, which I'll show you in a second. The arms have ball pegs and a single hinge at the elbow. The legs are the same legs as in robot mode. They tell you to pose him like this. I personally like having the legs longer to make him even bigger, but that's up to you. The tail is a bit of a problem because it's really just Megatron's head with a tail connected to it, and it doesn't have much in the way of good ways to pose it. You can pretty much just swivel it and bend it like that. The wings have a little bit of a better switchback here now, so you can bring them all the way out and lock them in place a little bit easier. They still have the full hinge, so that's pretty cool. Now, as far as the neck goes, we have this mechanism which, if you pull down, you can lift the head up. And if you want to, you can even flip this piece down and lock it into place, and that brings the head all the way up so you can put him in a flying pose. It's a little tricky to undo, so I'm not going to do it right now, but you can lock the head in place all the way up. And then if you want to pose the head a little bit more, you can do that. Unfortunately, it's not a permanent pose. It's just a matter of wiggling it from side to side. So it's not the best situation. As you might be able to tell, you cannot get him to actually look forward very effectively. It's going to want to stand up again. So standing him in a standing pose is not really going to be your best option. As cool as the neck is designed, it is just not well designed for having him stand on the surface. So it's a really cool figure. You can see throughout the entire figure we have all kinds of asymmetrical sculpting. You can see this wing up here is nowhere near the same as this wing. On the back it's even more obvious. Very cool the way they got the organic and the techno look kind of meshed throughout. Every single bit is a unique sculpt, whether it's the biceps on the arms or just really anything. I mean, it's all 100% unique from side to side. So I definitely recommend this guy if you're into the Beast Wars, especially the Transmetal 2s. This guy is one of the better figures. Despite his flaws, I still think he's pretty darn cool, and I think you're probably going to enjoy owning him. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.